Hi everyone, well today is Wednesday and in 2 days time it's going to be Good Friday. So I thought for Baking Bad episode 6 we will do that bake that is synonymous with Good Friday, and it even has that little tune, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, malt loaf. There you go, no only kidding, it's Hot Cross Buns. So today we're going to be doing Hot Cross Buns. Right, now the first thing we need to do to get going is 300 millilitres of milk that we will bring to the boil. Once it has been brought to the boil, we will put in 50 grams of butter, unsalted butter, and leave it to cool to hand temperature. In the meantime we shall weigh out our dry goods. So, scales on. And we are looking for 500 grams of bread flour. Wessex Mill French bread flour is what I'm going with today. There should just be enough. If not, I shall top it up with some other bread flour. Come on, you know you want to. 500 grams of bread flour. We will then add 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I use fine salt, so I'm just going to use a very flat teaspoon of salt. A sachet of dried yeast. Now dried yeast, when you buy it in sachets, always seems to be 7 grams per sachet, and you can tell it's dried yeast because it says dried yeast. So 7 grams of that into the bowl, and then we're going to add our spices. So I am going to use ground cinnamon, just a kind of a flattish teaspoon, and I'm going to use ground mixed spice, which will contain clove and cardamom and give it that kind of extra whack. There we go. So there's our spices in, and 75 grams of caster sugar. How's the old milk? Yeah, it's getting there. So 75 grams of caster sugar. Zero the scales, there they go. Lovely. This is golden caster sugar. And what we're going to be doing essentially is making an enriched dough, which means it'll have milk and butter in it. Go on. There you go. Good. Those are the dry ingredients. The milk is almost bumming up to the coil. Wazz around the dry ingredients and the spices into the flour. Here comes our milk. That didn't take very long. And into it 50 grams of butter. I'm just going to let the butter melt in there. Let's put that there. Drop that in there. Right, we need to let this come down to sort of hand temperature. Otherwise, when you pour it into the mixture, it will hurt. So there we go. There's our butter.
Oh, steamed up.
It's a steamy old affair, this hot cross bun nonsense. Okay, right. Our milk butter mixture has now cooled down to hand temperature. I'm just going to make a little well. It's not really a well. I'm going to make a little whole. We are going to pour in the milk and butter like so, and one whole beaten egg. One whole beaten egg, that goes in as well. And then we are going to stir it around to make a dough. So milk, butter and egg are the extra ingredients. That makes this an enriched dough. And the smell coming off of that already with the spices is fantastic. So we simply bring it together in the bowl like so until we get a nice dough, and that's come away from the sides of the bowl really nicely. We then get a nice floured surface. Again, these shakers are really fantastic. You get a very lovely even coat. We are going to get our dough plop it out onto the counter. Like so. And a good idea, as always, put things in to soak. Get a bit of flour on your hand so it doesn't immediately stick to you. And what we want to do now is about 5 minutes worth of classic old style kneading, which is a bit of pulling and stretching. And it is very sticky, so if it is sticky, you just ping on the flour. Like so. So we're just going to knead away like that. God, it's sticky. And if it's sticky, just add a bit more flour. But obviously not too much or it will tighten up. What we want to do is just get it all kneaded and elastic like so. So be about 5 to 10 minutes or so, and we shall come back when I've kneaded it and it's started to cohesively form a ball again. Okie dokie. Well, hello folks, about 5 or 6 minutes have passed and that outrageously sticky lump eventually does come together. Just keep adding small amounts of flour each time. Get it on your hands and rub it, and just keep it going. Use a bread scraper or equivalent to get it off the counter. It does eventually go from a horrible sticky nightmare into this rather lovely, smooth, elastic dough. And this is the full-on kneading process. Nice. Remember not to overwork it. 5 or 6 minutes, I think we're there. All of a sudden, it's nice and elastic and ready to go. Right, so into a lightly oiled bowl. In we go. We're then going to cover with some lightly oiled cling film. And the best way with that excess oil is just smear it over the cling film like so, and invert the cling film over and onto the bowl quite loosely, because we don't really want sticking. So light the oil bulb. That's going to prove for an hour. Now while that's proving for an hour, my 90 grams of sultanas are going to have a little bath in tea. Regular black tea with a tea bag. And mix them about. Good. So, in the time that takes to prove, which is about an hour, it'll double in size, maybe 2.5 times, maybe even 3 times in size. And in that time, the sultanas will kind of plump up and become quite nice and quite soft. And then we will then incorporate that with some zest of an orange and the mixed peel, 60 grams of mixed peel for the second stage, and then we'll form them into buns. And there's also some very finely chopped apple as well that will go in there. So good. See you in about an hour then. Okie dokie. Right. It has doubled, nay, merely trebled in size. It smells amazing. The longer you leave it, the kind of tastier it will be. We're now going to drain our sultanas, and we shall get our mixed peel. So 60 grams of mixed peel. In that goes. Orange zest, or the zest of one orange. Building up the flavours here. There we go. Lovely stuff. Then we have some finely chopped apple, which has just been sitting in the fridge. There we go, finely chopped apple. And let's just squeeze out the liquid. That looks good to me. They're now very soft and plump and luscious. And now what we have to do is fold it and knead it all into the dough. Like so. Because we're going to leave it to prove. Just give it a good old stir up and incorporate everything. I'll even get my hands in there. And of course you can get your hands in there too. And cover it all up. And the cling film, or the oiled cling film, let's not use olive oil, let's use our sunflower oil just a little bit. There we go. And we're going to oil our cling film. And this just stops the skin forming on the top of the dough while it proves. There we go, let's oil up the cling film. Lovely stuff. Oh yes. And just cover it over like so. He's got to get rising again, so we'll see you when we bring the dough out and split it up. Another hour and a half has passed. Peel off our cling film. And here is the bun dough. Looking splendid. Now what we have to do is we have to divide it up into buns. And this can be a bit laborious, but it kind of helps if you've got scales. So we'll lightly flour the surface. One of these dough cutters are pretty useful. But let's ping the dough out. Boof, comes out straight away. Let's just get extra stuff left in there. Nice. Get that soaking. It's just very light sprinkling of flour. Because we're going to be rolling it around and cutting it up. So the fruit has made it a little wet, but that'll be alright. What we want to do is kind of cut it in half evenly, or as even as we can. Let's just get some more flour on there. It's a little bit wet, that's okay. The only thing is that thing doesn't really dispense a whole ton of flour. Let's have a look. 619. Oh, 609. Good, that should work out. 614. 614, lovely, okay. Now we are going to make 12 lovely buns out of this stuff. And it will rise again so let's try and get, what have we got there? 113, probably too much. 94, okay, try and get 6 onto the trays, like so. A little bit more flour on you, nice. Cool. And we're going to let them prove out. We've got about another hour now, so what I'm going to do is lightly cover them with a couple of nice clean tea towels. One, let's actually get these looking like buns rather than bizarre oblongs. That looks good, that looks good. Right. Leave it to go. One there. And one there. They've got another hour, and then I'll show you how we do the crosses. It involves piping nozzle, and we'll also have some orange extract as well. It's plain flour and water essentially, and a little bit of orange extract to give the crosses a little extra something. So, see you in an hour or so. Bye. Cooking with wine. That's how I cook with wine anyway. Right, our hot buns, in fact they're cold, not cross buns at the moment. Let's have a look, reveal. Oh look, they've all become puffy. Oh lovely. There we go. Check it out. Oven is coming up to 200 centigrade. Now our final thing is about 75 grams of flour, and this is plain flour. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little paste. Good old flour and water paste, like glue. And you make it quite runny. Put just about the right amount of water in there. There we go. Let's get it into a paste. Stir it all around. And this is plain flour, not bread flour. So what we're going to do, we're going to put it into a piping bag with a number 2 nozzle, because it's going to spread out a little bit once you pipe it. It's quite loose. And this is to do the crosses. So one of my little USPs is a teaspoon of Valencia orange extract. There, just to give the crosses a little bit of a tang. It smells really nice actually. Right, let's get that in there. So Valencia orange extract, you don't have to do this, it's just something I like to do. And I'm not going for perfection buns here, I'm just going for some nice tasting hot cross buns. Alright, let's have a look at you guys. Okay. Right. Open the bag like so. And you kind of open it over your hand so that you can kind of operate it like a glove pocket. And you don't need an enormous amount because you're going to do 4 runs essentially. Or how many? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 runs, not many. Horrible bloody gloopy stuff. In it goes. It'll probably start tipping out of the bottom, which it is right now. What a horrible mess. That'll do. Lift this up, give it a quick twist, and then seal it with one of these clips. Right, here we go. It's a horrible runny mess, and I was almost tempted to lick that actually. What we're going to do is, from the bottom, right. Sweet. Right. Okay, into the oven at 200 centigrade. In they go. I'm going to have a tidy up, and we shall come back in 20 minutes. After 10 minutes I'm going to turn them around like I do with all my bakes to get a nice even bake, but we'll come back in 20 minutes and then I shall paint them with sieved warm apricot jam, and that will be it. Howdy. Okay, moment of truth. Oven off. How are they smelling?
They smell fantastic.
Oh, they're my kind of colour as well. Oh yeah. Wow. Fantastic. A few of them are stuck together, which is kind of how I want for a batch bake. Yeah, beautiful. Really quite nice and hot. Sieved apricot jam. Gad, what a noise. Cool. Sieve that through. Oh. Lovely stuff. Just a tiny thin coating, that's all it needs. Of course, because the buns are nice and hot. That's it. Just let me wash my fingers. And there you have it, folks. Hot Cross Buns. Beautiful spice. Beautiful fruit. They smell fantastic. It's quite a faff. We've even lost the daylight yet again. But there are 3 1-hour proofs. There's the first proof, then there's the second proof with the fruit, then there's the third proof when they're buns on the tray, and then a 20-minute bake at 200 centigrade. But they are worth it. They're absolutely beautiful. Right. Okay, right, I've given Rosemary the privilege.
They are hot.
And they are cross.
And they are buns. Wow, look at that. Beautiful.
Beautiful, all the way through. So come then, you're going to have a top with the jam on. How's that?
Need some butter. Lovely.
Okay.
Do you want some, Mum?
Yeah, I'll have a bite. Yeah, I want the jam. Lovely. Well.
Very nice.
Hey, hey, hey.
Beautiful.
Brilliant. Right, here we go. I'll hand you back the camera. It's still rolling. Why do we like baking? This is why we like baking. And we like baking bad. Anyway, that's it. Hot Cross Buns. They're hot, they're cross, they're buns. Happy Easter, everyone, and after Easter I'll get on to doing a ciabatta for Baking Bad number 7, I think. So a lovely long ferment, giant air holes in the bread, and it's one of my favourite bakes. And you'll need some semolina flour, coarse or fine, it doesn't matter, but semolina flour is what you'll need to dust them. So yeah, happy Easter, happy baking, Baking Bad. See you on the next one.